Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. Sound check. Great. So, welcome, guys. And give me a minute more so that we can allow all of them to join in. And then we start our session on order flow. Hope all of you had a good weekly expiry yesterday and the RBI event. And today it was more of a balance being formed after yesterday's big move. So I will just briefly go through the day type of yesterday and then we will focus on today's order flow charts because no point in discussing what happened yesterday. We'll go with the current market data. And yesterday was a fairly easier order flow chart to follow because we had big selling which had come in both Nifty as well as Bank Nifty from the time the RBI policy started. And we made a big move down in the D and then we formed a balance. Then again, we resumed that move lower into the close. So fine, guys. So what you have on chart is the market profile chart of Nifty futures and Bank Nifty futures. This is just to show what we did yesterday. We had formed a trend day down in both and we had swiped through the 4-day composite value of Nifty futures. We made a look above the value, we got rejected and we closed lower. And once we did this, the up move was getting stalled right at this value area low of that composite. So it was telling that it does not want to get back into this value. So the PLR was to the downside. And that is the reason we went on to make these new lows into the close. So same thing in Bank Nifty, it was a more bearish profile. We swiped through, it was an outside bar range wise, and we even went on to make new lows for this series. So what we did is when we made that low of 45043, 45053, sorry, we did not make new lows for the series. That was on the expiry day, I think, which was 44865. So that is still holding, and we just managed to hold above that level. And 44999 was the POC of that day. I'll just quickly. So this is the profile of expiry day where we formed the POC here and we gapped higher from that day. So from that day, this VWAP was being protected, and yesterday was where we left a small buying tail at the lows. Although it was an imbalance close, we had a small tail in the L period. So both were 10 days down. So we at the open we could expect some of the imbalance to continue, but then because of the big range, it was time for a balance to form today. So I'll quickly show you the order flow chart of yesterday. This is the 30-minute order flow chart of Nifty futures. We'll start with Nifty futures and then move on to the Bank Nifty futures. So Nifty futures, you can see this are the 30-minute order flow charts, and this is what happened in the K period. We got an IS on the 30-minute time frame. So clearly from before itself, the bias was to the downside. So I'm showing you this so that we can mark the levels which we need for the open for today. So this 21890, the high of this IS bar was our swing reference along with this VWAP of 21855. So these two were our important references on the upside when we opened today. On the downside, we have this VWAP of the L period. As I said, we have a small buying tail in the L in Bank Nifty. In Nifty, we had a very minute tail, but we have this VWAP looking more like an RB. So this 21802 was our downside reference for the open. So I'll now shift to the 3-minute order flow chart and see what happened at the open and what we could make of at the open. So as I said, we'll start with Nifty futures and then move on to the Bank Nifty futures. So this was the close yesterday and then we opened today. Sorry, I'll just shift back to the open part of today. Yeah. So this was the closing order flow of yesterday. So here we can see when we made that low, of 21768 yesterday into the close, we have left an RB and we formed these IBs. So this is not buyers, but this was profit booking by the sellers. So this is how we closed yesterday at 21820. So as I said, the upside reference for today open was 21855 and the 21890, and the downside reference was 21802. So at the open today, we opened lower. So as expected, the trend day imbalance continued. We did not get any demand on the buy side. We have zeros on the buy side and we probe lower. We made a probe below this lows and we hit that 21755. So 21755, if I can show you on the market profile chart, was the POC of 1st of February. So we have merged this profile. So it is not, if I unmerge this, so you can see this POC 21754 was a POC from 1st of February. So which had not been tagged till today. So today when in the at the open when we formed that low, it was right there. It stalled right there. So and we formed an RB here and immediately we got back above VWAP. So this was actually a very bullish signal. And in fact, even in the trading room, we even look to go for a call option, call trade, because it has taken support here. You can see zeros on the sell side. It has given a good RB and immediately it has come back about the day's VWAP. This is a good kind of an IB bars. Although ideally the POC would had to be on the lower part. This one shifted little to the higher side. But immediately after the next bar, what made us to scratch our position was the cot. Cot was in red, and this was big red. So that is the reason we then thought that it is not worth taking the call trade, because the supply, this is a supply zone, and unless that 21855 is taken out, it is better to for us to wait and watch. So even though we stayed above VWAP in the initial this thing, we can see RS forming at this level. So and the cot remained red. So the cot staying red was our major reason for not going for long trades. And then it became clear that this is stalling. The 21855 level is not giving the gate pass, as we say in the room. So what happened then was, we normally take trades on IBs or ISS. So we did not get any IS in the Nifty future chart, correct? So this was a good IB because it came after testing of previous lows and the RB and at a important level of VPOC. So this was one signal where we could have gone long, but we did not see the cart going in green. So that means the seller were adding at these higher levels. So that is the reason then we made this probe lower. We broke below this VWAP and we got fresh selling over here. We can see all reds over here. So, but still we did not get any IS, so we were not into any short position. And I and what happened when we went on to make this low, here we can see the order flow changing the color. So the cot which we were seeing, we have two green cots, but these were more of short covering of sellers who had come in at the highs. The cot was majorly red, and this bar was a good RB bar with a trifecta of greens in the order flow. So this is a very important signal for us, where we get trifecta plus an RB to at least mark the end of that particular impulse. So in case this is initiative buying, what they will do is they will take it back over VWAP and sustain the VWAP. So we would have to see what it would have done there. And before that, this POC 21814 would be our reference now, because it has broken this and it has remained below that. So once we got above VWAP, this POC was stalling. We can see that bold white line. The POC was stalling. So we needed an IB at that POC. Although we had come back above VWAP, we were not getting any IB bars, initiative buying bars. So that was kind of holding us back, all in spite of this good RB which we got. RB is good. It is marking the end of the downside. It is telling the shorts are booking, but we need a good IB for us to consider going long. This 1006 bar, you can say, was a good IB, good bar in the sense it closed above VWAP. But then the COT again is not giving us that confidence. COT remains red. So when we want to go long, we would want that COT also to be on our side, that is on the green side. So that was again making us think that it is still not very clear to go higher. And this GPOC stalling multiple bars was telling us that it is still, the buyers are still not able to get a grip on the Nifty futures. So ultimately what happened is we got this fresh IS here, and then we went on to make new lows. So once we know that it is probing lower, then we can definitely wait for it to give us that signal that it is done with the downside. After this IS, we were sure that we are going for new lows, which came in the DP rate. We made a swipe below that IB, and then again, as we saw, we got another before the RB bar, we got another good RB bar at this 1106 bar. So here again, you can see just before this bar, the COT is turning green, and here again the COT is not red anymore. So it is telling us that the shorts were booking out, and this immediately after this we get an IB. But still we are below VWAP, so we would still wait for the auction to get above VWAP. But here we know that we no longer have to be short if we are short, and this would be our reference for the uh, uh, next TPO or so. So along with this, what we do, we also keep checking what is happening on the 30-minute time frame. As in one, uh, every TPO gets over, we just see what the TPO is done on the order flow chart. So here you can see the A period TPO was not giving any much of clues, because we have the sellers at top and we have the POC and the VWAP right in the middle of the bar. But the B period went lower and it kind of formed an RB. So this 21749 was a support to say. But again, we have left this A period selling tail from 21818 to 843. So this was not been able to take out in the C period. So this is how we see the 30-minute parallelly and work out the levels on the 3-minute. We see what setups we can get on the 3-minute chart. So as we completed C and we broke this RB POC of the B, it was clear that we are going for new lows. This is what the 3-minute order flow also showed us. And then here we got this RB plus IB. So this, unless we break this 21680, we would not look for any short trades, because this, and one more level to watch here was this IS high, the 21749 level. So this also had to be negated for us to get some clue that the selling is done in the Nifty futures. So what happened here with, even in this dip, we took support above this 21680, and then we negated the 21750, and this is where we went above VWAP on with this green bar. So this is a very good green bar, and we could have considered this as a change of auction in the Nifty futures, that now the downside is done. We have got a good RB, and now the buyers have taken the auction above VWAP. So now, if we consider these two bars together as a combination, we take this 21738 as our reference on the downside, and now we have biased for Nifty futures on the upside, with our reference being the IBH, which is a 21844 and the 21855 level. So we just then look for some more confirmation, in the sense some more IBs to form above the VWAP. But that was not happening in Nifty futures, where the volumes were more on the average side. So here you can see we are not getting much confidence above VWAP. We have not got a single IB bar above VWAP. Although we have been defending VWAP, we did not get any IB bar. So this is not giving any confidence to get into any fresh call option. So here also, when we made these new highs for the period, we have got an RS. So not something which we want to see when we are looking for going long. So here again we get some big big selling which comes into the system, you can see the cart is red again. So this is clearly telling us that the buyers are not able to give you those signals which you want in order to go long. Although there is no short, but there is no long also as such in this order flow chart of today in Nifty futures. So I'll just quickly run through this, and I'm taking this chart as an example because it has to, we need to know that we'll have days where we get good easy signals, and we'll have days where we'll have to wait and there are no signals. So we need to just be patient and wait it out and look for IB plus IB or an IS plus IS to enter any trade. So again here you see we have made this IB hedge, but again we have got reds, and the cot is also red. We are getting good supply over here. Same. So 21855 was our reference, and see exactly at the same level we get a 745 seller. So all this is telling us that although it is filling up yesterday's profile, we are not getting any conviction to go long in Nifty futures. So we just stay in a range above VWAP and inside that 21855, and again in the K period we did not get any IB signal. Generally in K period we get a good move, but that is seen in the order flow. We get an IB or an IS. We got an IS yesterday in both Nifty futures and Bank Nifty futures, which facilitated a put trade for us into the close yesterday. But today we did not get any such signal in the Nifty futures. So that is the reason it was more of a balanced day today, two-way mode with none of the party holding any big advantage. So here at the close, you can see we have formed this IB bar, but this is way into the close, too much into the high. So this is too late for us to take any trade. We could have looked for a spike, but even that was not helping because the volumes were not that. The spike volumes are easily more than 3,000, 4,000 contracts on the 3 minutes, but that was not the case. So we had to just stay put and wait in the Nifty futures. So this is for the Nifty futures. I will come now to the Bank Nifty because Bank Nifty had a different kind of a structure today. So I'll start with yesterday's. So this is the yesterday's 30-minute chart of Bank Nifty. We will go through the Bank Nifty order flow chart, and then we will look at call options of both Nifty as well as Bank Nifty uh, of today, so that we can figure out, we can see how the order flow gives us clear signals in one of the chart, and the other chart we don't get much of signals. So coming to Bank Nifty, we had formed this LP rate singles from 45140 to 45057. So this was our downside reference in this. On the upside, we have this IS bar, this K period which I was talking about, and we had the VWAP of that and the POC right at this 45454. This was one important reference for us for today, along with the high of this IS bar 45650. And then we had this big D period reference, which I had mentioned before, of this 45789, which was also the VWAP of yesterday. So the VWAP closed right at the same level yesterday, 45790. So these were our upside references for Bank Nifty when we opened today. So the so I'll now move on to the 3-minute order flow, and then we'll see how we did. So I'll go to the beginning of today's order flow chart. Guys, I'll take the questions at the end of the session. So just make a note of whatever queries you have, even in the charts which we are seeing right now. And then we'll open up the floor for the questions, and then I will answer all the queries you have. So kindly hold till I can complete this so we can go with the question answer session into the close. Okay, so this is our 3-minute order flow chart of Bank Nifty today. So I'll compare it with how we closed yesterday. Yesterday also we saw some good covering in bank. We closed at 45333 was the high when we closed. So today, even in Bank Nifty, we opened lower. But what happened is 45140, if you remember, was the low of the uh, tail yesterday. We had the tail from 45140 to 45057 yesterday's responsive buying tail of LP rate. So that was holding. Like immediately as we looked below that, we got an RB, right? So when this is a good sign that there is no fresh selling coming in Bank Nifty today after all the selling which came yesterday. So this was telling us that Bank Nifty is giving a good bullish start. But what it needed to do was needed to get above the upper references. So although we went on to make, as we climbed above, we could see some big seller coming in. 730 red was a good big seller, and the POC shifted right to the up. So this was like, let us just wait and watch what was happening. And here our reference of the open was this RB. So because this was very close to the previous buying tail, this was our support for the day along with the VWAP. So once we saw this big seller here, in the dip we got supported at VWAP. So again, we know that whatever buying which came at the open is defending the VWAP. So after this, we went on to make new highs of 45438. So I had just showed you that reference of 45454 from the previous day in the order flow chart. So you can see how we this 45450. So if I get the AP rate of today, you can see the AP rate stalled right at that level. So that is how we see what the important levels, what the auction is showing us, order flow is showing us on the shorter time frame. So you can see here zeros on the buy side. So it was very clear, and we also have that big seller of 2,300 contracts. So this is clearly telling us if you are long, you need to book out. We need to, because this is clear showing that the Bank Nifty wants to probe lower and test the morning references. So here we look for a dip, we break below VWAP, and then we are just forming a balance and see this low where we made this 45217 and we have given this nice RB. You can compare it with the low of this bar. The first bar which you got above VWAP, it took support right at the lows of that bar, right? And this is an IB. This is the first IB which is formed for the day. So this becomes an important reference. This low becomes our stop loss for any long position we are having. One more point I would want to make here is the IB signals, the initiative buying signals, which come at VWAP are even more important because that is telling you that there is change in control. So from there, it can give you a good up move. Same thing with the IS at VWAP. So when we are getting an IS at VWAP, it is showing you that sellers are taking control of the auction. So here this bar was telling us that the buyers are taking control in the auction. So this is on good volumes, and you can see the COT is also not as negative as it was seen in Nifty futures when it was going above VWAP. So after this, it gets above this and it's breaks into this new high. It takes out that 45450 reference and it goes on to make a high of 45550, 45537. So you can see this green is mostly a stop loss of a short which was there. So this just wiped. And here our main reference would still be the VWAP and that level of lower. But here above this, we need to get an IB bar. And here, if we see the time, we are close to the IB closing, the end of the B period. So C period is something which we trade very cautiously because C is known to give dhoka. So we call C period the dhoka period. So we are very careful in taking trades in the direction of the IB in the C period. We wait for a contra move and then we look for more confirmation in the D period. So here, although we had this bullish close, it was more a bullish close in the B. What was changing was the uh, time frame, that it was very close to the C, and we needed to get some good volume IB bar. So what we rather got was, just right at the start of C period, we got this RS at the same level of the IB. So this was more a confirmation that the upside is now mostly done, and it may give us a revisit to VWAP, which the uh, seaside always does. We have a seaside setup which we play in Bank Nifty, which tells us that. So now here, this was a good IB bar. So this POC and this low was one reference which had to hold. So this had come right at that previous reference of 45450. So this had to show change of polarity in case we had to continue higher. So in case we would have got one RB plus IB here, we could have gone fresh long in Bank Nifty. But that didn't happen. This immediately got broken, and it was clear that we were looking for a test of VWAP, and especially that IB bar which we had got in the dip. So we look and wait for the order flow to give us more definite clues that the probe is over to the downside. Here, none of these candles are giving any confirmation to go long. Although we are above VWAP, we have not got any fresh buy signal. So this, you can see, this was a good bar which broke VWAP and it went lower, and it went on to make a low of 45235. So you can see this line which has been coming is from that IB bar which we had at VWAP, the first IB bar of VWAP. Yes, this is the POC of this bar. So which is why we stay with the important references of the IB bar till the time they do not get negated. So these two references were important, and this dip we got in the D period gave us an RB right at that point. So here in the on the 3-minute chart, whenever you have got an old IB which is getting defended, so even one single IB there is a good confirmation for you to get back into the long position in that auction. So this RB plus IB was a good setup, and immediately it got above VWAP. So now our reference would be the overlapping POC of 45260, and we would look at upside in Bank Nifty. So the first thing was, if the buyers are in control, they would have to uh, keep the auction above the VWAP, which they were fairly able to manage, because you can see, although we were dipping below VWAP, we were getting, it was getting defended. We are getting some good demand. So here this 1133 was more confirmation. What we failed to get in Nifty futures, we got only one IB and then we did not get any more IBs above VWAP. In Bank Nifty, we got the second IB in the 1133 bar. So this plus this gives you more confirmation that yes, now we can go long. So our reference which was at 45260 now can come to this level of 45310. Although this, for aggressive traders, you can take this as your stop loss and RAIM. So what happened then is, after this IB, we got another big IB, and here you can also see the cot is also changing to green. So this is this is telling us that there is good up move in Bank Nifty coming in. Maybe it is short covering, maybe it is fresh buying, whatever the case. But order flow is giving us the levels. It is showing us the zones where we need to go long. And 45550 was that BNC period high, which was taken out with zeros. So you see these zeros in the order flow. This 1136 bar has good volumes. So these zeros, whenever you get a zeros in an IB bar, the start of the zeros one become one important reference point for us. So this 45500 was our reference, apart from this low, the low of this IB bar. So moving forward, what happened in the next bar is, we made this high of 690 and we are getting an RS. So if you are long this bar at 1139, you can is asking you to book at least part book your longs so that you get the money into your account and trail the rest to your cost or whichever the fresh level you are able to get from the order flow chart. So here our level based on this IB bar, we will take these zeros because it's a big IB bar and POC is little to the upside. We will take these zeros which is at 45500 and the low of this bar which is at 455428. So if you want to hold on to some long position, that will be our TSL. But yes, this bar is clearly telling us to book profits in part of our positions. So that we do that promptly because it is a good setup and it is given a good move also. So here we can see it broke below this POC, but it has got zeros on the supply side. So it looked as if it can give more up move. But for that up move to happen, this RS had to be taken out and this high had to be taken out on a fresh IB. So longs only who were there from before could have held their long at a trailing stop loss. There were no fresh IB after this. So we just need to wait for an IB breaking out new highs. So also because we follow market profile, we want every TPO to form higher highs if we are holding a looking for a trending move. But here again you can see you getting RS bars and we are coming to a balance. We are forming a balance. So this high again is just below that 45690 and we have got an RS. And even the volumes have kind of died down because we're getting very low volumes. So this is a phase where we just need to sit back and wait for either the reference which you have got to give you a fresh order flow signal. So here we get an IS bar. But what are we? Our biases to the upside, correct? Because we have got IBs in BNF. And what is our reference for that bias? 45500 was the reference along with 45426. So this is the first IS bar we have got, and it is made a low of 45507. And immediately after the next bar, this IS gets negated. This bar takes out the high of this bar. So here it is telling you that yes, the buyers are still in control. So this is giving you that confirmation that you can hold on to your longs if you are carrying or look for a fresh position, a fresh IB signal to take a fresh long trade. So here you can see again we are stalling right at that 45690. So it is very clear that the buyers are defending the 45500 region and the sellers are not letting go of that 45690 level. So it has been a uh, table tennis game between these two zones. And here we see because we are getting zeros at this buy side. So this is not giving you confidence to remain long or go long here. So definitely you would want to book out of longs if you're long because this is I think the third time we have touched this. So even if you are holding existing positions, you would want to book long at this setup at this bar. But so that said, this 45500 is still our support. So we just see what is happening, and then after this big RS we get big RS we get this IS, and this is also on good volumes, and then we break that 4550 level. So this is telling us that the selling is trying to uh, get more dominant here. So below 45500 our reference was that 45424 which is the low of that bar. So we have to see another IS breaking below that to take to take short trades, and more so because we have also above the VWAP of the day. So till the time we are above the VWAP, so you can see this green line is the VWAP of the day, which is now coincided with that IB low of 45424. Till you don't see this breaking with an IS, you don't look for any short trades in Bank Nifty. So we are just patiently waiting. It is also although taken out this 45500, we are looking for more clues in the order flow. So here what has happened is we've formed this IS, correct? So this becomes one reference point for us because this is a pretty good IS bar. It has got good green caught and it has got a good seller at this POC of 45580. So we mark these as our reference levels on the upside. So here when we go higher, we see more selling has come in this bar. So what this is doing is this is taking out all the supply which is there. The cot is red and we are getting RSS as we are moving higher. So, but the underlying in Bank Nifty is from the open it got buyers and now the buyers are continuing to push it above VWAP. And any dip it is getting, it is defending VWAP and it is again probing higher, absorbing all the supply which is coming in. So this, and in market profile we give lot of importance to specific time periods. So K period is one such period which I have spoken about many times. So just as we enter the K period, we become extra alert in the order flow. So order flow, we look for signals in the K period and we know those signals have got good more chances of giving us a good trade. So this is when the K period started, the 215 time frame, and immediately when we form this IB, it makes us to stay alert and look at this IB low as a support. And then what happened is we took out that 4690 immediately in the next bar. So once we got this IB bar, we kind of be ready in the room to take a long trade above that 45690 level, which has been stalling till from the old time. I'll just quickly show the 30-minute order flow chart so that we can see how many times we stalled at that 45690 level. So you can see this from the 1115 TPO where we made this high, almost all the TPOs came close to this and they were not able to take it out. This is a 30-minute order flow. And you can see we have been above VWAP all the time. And we made this pullback low here, 45452, which was just above that reference of 45424. So on the 30-minute chart, our bias is still to the upside. Only thing is this has to be taken out. So when we are watching the 3-minute chart and we see this IB forming, we are ready for the next move. That with this as a stop loss, you can look for a buy above that 45690 level. Because what happens is once that level is taken off, even on a 3-minute, you can see it just climbed. It just gave a 60-70 point move. So once you are into this, then your stop loss will become this low of this bar. Although this is an RS bar, this is, we know that this is just the beginning of the move and we are waiting for one more IB bar to trail our stop loss higher. For now, with this as the reference and with this 45601 as the reference, we know that there are some good volumes coming in because you have 7,000 contracts here. And then this 236 bar is one more IB bar which we got. And this will become our fresh reference. We know now that Bank Nifty is poised for more upside. This low is 45699. In fact, when we opened this bar, we had started to probe lower and we took support right above that 45690 level. So this is where order flow will show us that the important zones are being respected. So when this is being respected, we immediately know it is scheduled to go higher. And then we went on to make these new highs of 969. But yes, as in 6 minutes, we have made this 200 point move. This RS forming is a signal that you need to book out of uh, longs. And now your level to watch would be 45786 in case it needs to make new highs. 45990 was what we were expecting in the room, which was also the 2 IB objective of the day, 2 IB, 2 times of the initial balance range. But we just stopped short of it. But here you know that the bias was to the upside and then Bank Nifty went on to take support at this level. And this also I would want to mention one more thing here. This POC had come right at the VWAP of previous day, which was the trend day VWAP, which I had already shown you in the profile chart. So once this was taken out, this became our reference on the downside. So this had to show change of polarity for us to sense that the buyers will close the auction in their demand. So in this 3 o'clock dip also, you can see the low we made was 45790 and you have zeros on the sell side. So if you are aware about these, this was a very good low risk trade to for the option to close at the highs with this holding. So even if you don't take a trade out of this, this is telling you, this is giving you the confirmation that this level is being held by the buyers. You can see how we closed in Bank Nifty. We went on to make highs of 45964, just stalling below the 45969 high which we made previously. So order flow in Bank Nifty was much better today, and it gave clearer signals of going long. We did not have any short signal in Bank Nifty today. So I'll just quickly move to the option charts. And here I would start with the 45,000 put. 45,000 put and 45,000 call. I have taken both call and put of the same strike price, and both opened around the same range. It was around 400, 450 range, which both opened. So you can see, I'm looking at the 3-minute order flow chart, and you can see here in the 3-minute order flow chart how we have got an RS immediately at open on the put chart. And then we have got an IS. So you see this 406 level will become your reference. And you can go back and check out, this remained the reference. Although we did get one spike higher in this later, it again gave us an IS. So I'll just take you to the chart. So see this. We've got one 5,000 seller right at the same point where we got the previous IS. So this is how order flow helps us, not just in futures, even in the options. And it was very clear in Bank Nifty that we are looking for upside today, right from the open. So even the options are showing us that confirmation. So here after this IS plus IS, this is where we made that C side 10-15. So from here, when you're making these similar lows, you can expect that it can give a swipe higher, which it did. But what it did was, it could only make a high of 373. So in this put, when you know the bias is on the upside, you are looking to sell puts. So when will you sell puts? On a fresh IS signal again. And to be an option writer, it is important for that option to stay above below VWAP. So we look for that kind of a trade. Either you're getting an RS at VWAP or you get an IS at VWAP. So this, you have that 408 level already there. If you have booked shorts in that and you want looking for a re-entry, this RS plus IS, this bar which is closing below VWAP, is another signal in this put to go short if you're an option seller. So this is how you can decipher the order flow charts in option also if you're an option traders. So this is where we can make out what the option is doing and what it is doing relative to VWAP. For any reason you book out and you want a re-entry, you wait for a pullback to VWAP or the POC of that option and see what the order flow is showing you, or just trail with your latest level. You can see this option was just going lower, making lower lows and lower highs, and you can see more of IS bars here than IB bars. So this is one where we got IB plus IB. So we need to see what it does when it goes to VWAP. So here, if you are short in this option, you come out because you've got IB plus IB, and you wait for a fresh signal or a negation of this IB. So which happened here with this IS. So this is how you can look for a fresh trade entry when the IB is also negated and you're getting a new IS. You can look to sell this option afresh with a small stop loss. You can take a stop loss of the POC before the IS bar high. So in this case, 237 would be your stop loss to sell this option. And then part book, trail, rest to cost, depending on what the risk reward was. So you can see how it went on to make lower lows into the close. So this is of the put option. And now I'll take you to the call option chart of the same 45,000. And let us start from the beginning. So just to give some context, 386 was the low of the call option yesterday. So that was like the low uh, of yesterday. And today we made a lower low. correct? Although Bank Nifty did not make a lower low, this option made a lower low. And what we get in the opening minutes is an RB bar. We saw that IS forming in the put and the RS forming in the put. The call option is giving you an RB, and immediately we get back above the VWAP. So this low of 437 is your reference now, because this is low of this big bar. So any any move coming down, we look for this to be defended. And for us to go long, we are looking for IBs either in VWAP. Immediately when we get an IB at VWAP, we get a buy signal. We look at the coordinating call option and look for levels in that to take entries. So here you can see how this 437 was tested. We made a low of 436 and we formed a RB. We got a 1300 buyer here. Immediately we got back above VWAP. So having the context in place is important. Here, when you have defending this level and when you are getting above this IS, this is a long trade in this call option with the stop loss below 436. So it immediately gave that move higher. And this being the C side, we will look to book profits here and wait for some fresh signal on a dip to go long again. See, this zeros on the buy side is again telling you that the upside is over in this option. It is better to book out. And now this, we got an IS also. And then we look for what it does at VWAP. So this is breaking below VWAP. This was the D period lows which we made. And here we have broken that 436 level also. So here again, you see that it is formed a uh, it is kind of defended, although it is not. You cannot call this an IB or an RB. It is defending that level, and immediately here we get back above VWAP. So this again becomes your reference. Although you don't take any long trade in this call based on this, this 437 becomes your reference. You watch that until that holds. You are looking to go long in this option. And here you got this IB. This IB is clearly telling you now you have to go long. This IB is a long trade. You can keep your stop loss at the POC of this 460. So this is how the call you look for trades. And immediately you can see once you got the IB, and this is not just one bar. We have been watching this. We have seen this has taken support at an important level. It has got back above VWAP, and this POC of this bar is holding. So it is based on that where we consider that this one single IB is a good place to enter long, and immediately we get that swipe higher, because Bank Nifty options are very fast and you need to be extra quick in trading them also. So you enter this is an RS. Immediately here you will definitely book profit, irrespective of even it going higher by 80 points in the next bar. You would want to book some profits and hold some points. So as you can see, it went on to make new highs of 727, but it still was a uh, it is never easy to it is never recommended to hold the Bank Nifty option position for a longer time, because it swipes higher fast and it swipes down back also equally fast. So I'll just go on to see. So this is an RS bar, and this coincides with that high we made in the BNF, that 45690, which was not taken out for a long time. So you can see here we have been same place. We are getting RS at this level 726. The downside is the VWAP in this option. So till we get any dip to VWAP and a good order flow signal, we will wait. So this is the VWAP, and this 525 is our reference from that earlier buying bar. So this has been holding, but we need some good IB bar. So these are RSS. We will not go on RSS. Here again, see, as the K period begins, you become extra alert. This is RS, this is RS. We will not look to go long here. But once we get an IB, we would want to go long. So, and this 690 and 726 was the level where we were getting the RS bars. So we want to take that level out, which was taken out in this. So although this is not, you cannot call this an IB bar because the POC shifted to the top. This is a signal that this option is going more on the upside. And here you can see the zeros have come from that 690 level. So 690 becomes your reference as you move forward. And you can see this 690 is holding in this low. This is the dip which we made in futures to that 45699. So immediately from here, it took off and it gave these new highs. So you can see the jump from 726, it went on almost a 200 points up. And here it is like, yes, this 918 reference is coming from a previous order flow chart. So these lines which come forward are important booking positions. So when the auction is stalling right there, you know that you can book out of this lot. So that was the high made for the day, I think. And after which we consolidated between the POC of this bar 777 to 917. So you can see 777 was broken, but we got zeros on the sell side. And we went on to make a high of 910 again. So this is how we look for trades in the option order flow also, and take it in sync with the futures. Although we our main signals and references come from the futures chart, this is how we trade the options for long trades. So that's it from my side for today, guys. So any queries you have, you can please shoot them, and I would like to answer them. 1412 and 1418 candle in Bank Nifty order flow chart. So this is the Bank Nifty order flow chart. I think we have already covered it, but I can get back to it. Yes, 1412 is an RS bar and 1418 is also an RS bar. As I said, the cot was also red. There was supply coming in, but the supply was getting absorbed. So, any more queries, guys? So I hope today's session was helpful, and because we used today's data itself, because we wanted it to be relevant to what is happening with the latest auction. So if there are no other questions, I would want to wind up the session now, because anyways, it is a Friday, so I won't keep all of you waiting for a long. Option selling, I did show in the put chart of how we can look for option selling, because the put was giving multiple option selling signals. So for selling, we first thing is you form the bias. Once you form the bias, you look for IS bars. So in the 45,000 put, we got an IS bar right at the open, and that high was your reference, and which was defended. So next, you watch at VWAP what is happening, and you look for RS or IS at VWAP to remain short in that option trade. So I'll just quickly move on, show you that. So see, this is that IS bar which I was talking about. So this is how you can use the order flow chart even for selling, and you can keep uh, refreshing and revisiting your references, your levels. So you don't need to just blindly short and sit back. The order flow will give you fresh levels, fresh references, and you can either book your shorts or you can trail your shorts accordingly. Manjunath, you have a lot of articles on our website. You can go on to the forum section and see the most read articles. You have a lot of information about the basic terms, and you can at least start going through that. We have a lot of videos on YouTube also on market profile. So you can start with that. And then if you are interested to get to the next level, we have an e-course which form the basic of market profile and order flow. And then we have the VMR, where we have a trading room where all of us trade live. Order flow charts you cannot see of strangles. Today's session is only on order flow, how to read the order flow to take trades. So strangle and straddle maybe we can cover in a later session. We can use market profile charts to arrive at straddle and strangle references, and we also have line charts of straddle and strangles. So you can use that in our option suite, and you get the VWAP and the POC of the combo, whether it is a straddle or a strangle, and then you can trail your stop losses as per that. Today's session is purely on order flow. So any queries on order flow, I'll be happy to answer. Fine, guys. So I think that is it for now. Any queries you have, you can mail them to support@vtrender.com, or you can DM me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @Uttam Goel. So we would love to continue bringing these sessions to you so that it helps us to grow, learn, and grow together. So thanks for joining in and have a great weekend. Hope to catch all of you again quick soon. Thank you, guys.